Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We are doing the melee weapons for the brand new dungeon today. I did the spells a few days ago. I also did all of the mage weapons in yesterday's video. I have finally got my voice back for this voiceover today. I did not have much of a voice most of today, and you might see that all throughout this video, or I may need to take like a few breathers, but you guys will understand that it does take a lot of time for these types of videos, because we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 melee weapons in total to go over today. We're going to be going over the descriptions of the weapons, their levels, how much they sell for, their base physical damage, and if you guys want the spell power as well, and where you will find all of them. So let's just jump straight into the video for today. Really wanted this video very quickly. I was going to do it tomorrow and just do some normal content for today, but you guys really wanted this so very much, so I decided to bump it ahead a day, and then the armor video might take a day or two, just depending on the amount of armor that is up on the wiki and what information we still have to find. I'll probably separate that into mage and melee armor as well, or if I can put melee and tank and then healer and mage. Just things like that to kind of give us a bit of room to find some more information out, because it does take quite a bit. So we're going to move on to the first weapon for today, which is the lowest weapon, guys. We're starting from the bottom, working our way to the top. So the first one is the Bone Scythe. The Bone Scythe is a melee weapon in Dungeon Quest, and it specializes in physical power, dealing a base average of 22,000 damage. The Bone Scythe can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power, and this item is most commonly obtained from the Samurai Palace on insane difficulty, and it can be sold for a minimum of 700,000 gold and requires players to be at least 89 to equip it. So we have a required level of 89, a base sell price of 700,000, a physical damage base of 22,000, and if you guys are looking for the spell power, it gives around 300 spell power as well. Obviously all of these weapons are going to be coming in common, uncommon, rare, and epic, and then obviously we'll go up for the legendary later on in today's video. But the second weapon that we have today, honestly, if you guys didn't notice this, it's actually in one of the dungeon rooms, and if you look really closely, you'll see one of the weapons on there. Just a little heads up for that. But this is the Royal Katana. The Royal Katana is a melee weapon, oh my goodness, in Dungeon Quest, and it specializes in physical damage, dealing a base average of 22,000 damage. The Royal Katana can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power. This item is most commonly obtained from the Samurai Palace dungeon on insane difficulty and can be sold for a minimum of 700,000 gold and requires players to be at least level 90 to equip it. So this is a required level of 90, a base sell price of 700,000 gold, a physical damage base of around 22,000, and a spell power base, because some of you like to know, of 300. We're just going to jump straight into the third one for today, which is the Honorable Greatsword. Possibly a really cool melee weapon. It's purple. You guys know I love purple, it's just my favorite color. So the Honorable Greatsword is a melee weapon in Dungeon Quest, and it specializes in physical power, dealing a base average of 25,100 damage. It is the one that we found mainly on our search, so this was like the base that we found. And the Honorable Greatsword can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power. Obviously, if you guys want spell power, it's kind of like a hybrid weapon. People use this for a lot as well, but this item is most commonly obtained in the Samurai Palace on insane difficulty and can be sold for a minimum of 700,000 gold and requires players to be at least level 90 to equip it. So it is a required level of 90, a base sell price of 700,000 gold, a physical damage of 25,100 base, and a spell power base of around 315. The The next one for today is the only dual weapons in this dungeon, which are the dual infernal daggers. So the dual infernal daggers is a melee weapon in Dungeon Quest, and it specializes in physical power, having an average of around 28,000 physical power base. It can also be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power. It can be sold for a minimum of 700,000 gold and requires players to be at least level 90 to equip it. This weapon actually has its own unique attack animation with it if you obtain these, and this item is most commonly obtained in the Samurai Palace on insane difficulty. So this is a required level of 90. This is a base sell price of 700,000 gold, a physical damage base of around 28,000, and spell power base of 300. The next one is kind of a dual weapon, but it's not really like a sword. These are the dual samurai stars, so it's a kind of different rework on the dual mention, obviously. So we have the dual samurai stars being one of the only two in the nightmare zone, because we're moving on to all of the nightmare modes. So this is the dual samurai stars, and the dual samurai stars are a melee weapon in Dungeon Quest, and it specializes in physical power, dealing a base average of around 29,000 damage, and the dual samurai stars can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power, because this can be also used as a hybrid too for some reason. I have no idea why, but a lot of people use this one as a hybrid, probably just because it looks cool. But this item is most commonly obtained from the Samurai Palace dungeon on nightmare difficulty and can be sold for a minimum of 900,000 gold, but requires players to be at least level 94 to equip it. So a required level of 94, a base sell price of 900,000, around 29,000 uncommon average for physical, and a spell power is around 500 base as well. So we're getting into all of the nightmare weapons right now. So those were all of the insane ones prior, and this is the beginning of the nightmare ones, where we have the only other duel as well. So we've got 3 duels inside this whole loadout this time. So we had the dual inferno daggers for the insane, and we've got the samurai stars, and now these ones for the nightmare ones. So this is the dual samurai sickles, and the dual samurai sickles are a melee weapon in Dungeon Quest and specialize in physical damage, dealing a base average of 34,000 damage. The dual samurai sickles can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power. This item is most commonly obtained from the Samurai Palace dungeon on nightmare difficulty and can be sold for a minimum of around 900,000 gold and requires players to be at least level 95 to equip it. So this is a required level of 95, a base sell price of 900,000, physical damage base of around 34,000, and a spell power base of 500 for all that would like to know. So we're moving into the last 4 weapons for today. So this next one is the Crimson Kris. The Crimson Kris is a melee weapon in Dungeon Quest, and it specializes in physical power, having an average of around 37,000 physical power. The Crimson Kris can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power, and it can be sold for a minimum of 900,000 gold and requires players to be at least level 95 to equip it. And this item is actually the most commonly obtained weapon on Samurai Palace on nightmare difficulty, as well as the samurai sickles. They are probably the most common ones that you'll find in your inventory. So this is a required level of 95, a base sell price of 900,000, a physical damage base of around 37,000, and spell power being around 490 to 500. So this next one is the Toxic War Spear. Actually one of the nicest looking melee weapons in my opinion. It's just got a lot of detail on it, and I personally like it a lot. But the Toxic War Spear is a melee weapon in Dungeon Quest, and it specializes in physical power, dealing a base average of around 40,000 damage. The Toxic War Spear can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power, and it can be sold for a minimum of around 900,000 gold and requires players to be at least level 95 to equip it. And this item is most commonly obtained from Samurai Palace dungeon on nightmare difficulty. Fun fact, the rare average damage on the rarity on this is around 44,000 as well. So the required level is 95. It sells for a base average of 900,000 gold, and that physical damage can range between 40 to 44,000, and it can basically have around 500 to 520 spell power, just depending on the drop that you get. This next one is the last sword before the legendary drop in the new Samurai Palace dungeon. So this will be the Ruby Greatsword. And the Ruby Greatsword is a melee weapon in Dungeon Quest where it specializes in physical power, having a base average of around 45,000 damage. The Ruby Greatsword can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power, and it can most commonly be obtained from the Samurai Palace dungeon on Nightmare difficulty and can be sold for a minimum of 900,000 gold and requires players to be at least level 96 to equip it. So this is a level 96 requirement with a base sell price of 900,000 gold, with a base physical damage being around 42,000 and spell power ranging from 400 to around 550. This can obviously be upgraded a lot due to the rarity. This in purple is basically the next step to a legendary, because legendaries are very hard to find, because I got some information on the legendaries for you guys when we get to that one. But the Sakura Katana is our melee weapon for today, and the Sakura Katana is a legendary melee weapon in Dungeon Quest, and it specializes in physical power, having a base average of 56,000 damage. The Sakura Katana can be upgraded with gold to improve its damage and spell power. This weapon can most commonly be found in the Samurai Palace dungeon on Nightmare difficulty, and it can be sold for a minimum of 1,500,000 gold and requires players to be at least level 97 to equip it. Fun fact for the legendaries for this round, I think it's confirmed that it's around a 0.2% drop in the dungeon right now. So this has a required level of 97. It sells for a base price of around 1,500,000, and its physical damage is a base of around 56,000, with spell power actually being around 1,000. So if you want to heal as well, sometimes if you need to in a dungeon, you can do that with this weapon. But yeah, this is all of the melee weapons for the brand new Samurai Palace dungeon, and thank you so much for putting up with me for the last 3 videos for all of the spells, all of the mage weapons, and now the melee weapons today. As I did say, the armor may take a little bit. It's really hard to get some of the armor drops, especially when you're trying to run dungeons constantly, but I will get it for you, and I'll probably separate it into 2 videos, with tank and melee being one, and healer and mage being another, just for all the different types of classes that we can cover. But yeah, if you guys liked today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. Also hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every single time I post a video or start a stream. And thank you so much to the people on the screen right now. You guys are my channel members and you guys are amazing, and thank you so much. And if you want to learn how to become a channel member, click the join button down below or on my main channel page. I wish you guys all the best of luck in grinding for a legendary. I'm still grinding for more to try and give away to you guys, just as a little heads up for a future video, things that may be coming to the channel, maybe giant giveaways. But yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day or night, wherever you guys may be in the world, and I will see you guys in the next video or stream. Bye guys!